Please welcome to the stage your Member of Parliament for Calgary Centre, accueillant sur scène votre député de Calgary Centre, Greg McLean.
Well, hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Calgary. Thousands of you have come from all over Canada for this important meeting of our Conservative Party family, and I am so honored to represent the host riding for this convention, Calgary Centre. Bienvenue à toutes et à tous. Merci de nous rejoindre à Calgary, où je suis fier de représenter un comté divers, avec la communauté ethnique et les repas que vient avec ses coutumes, et aussi un centre d'affaires domestique et international qui dirige notre économie. We're going to get a lot done here this weekend. We're going to continue to build our party so that it reflects the Canada that needs change and good government above all else. Like all these gatherings, we're going to reconnect with friends and make new friends. There'll be lots of events to gather and have great conversations. I'd love to see you at the saloon we've reserved as your convention host riding. So if you get a chance, join us tomorrow night at Palomino's downtown. I guarantee the hospitality that Calgary is known for. So everyone, work hard, have fun, and let's get things done. Travaille fort, amuse-toi bien, et faisons avancer les choses. I'll now turn it over to the MCs for the weekend, members of Parliament, my colleagues Stephanie Kusie and Pierre Paul-Hus. There's a timing lag here. Happens all the time, I'm told.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien. Bienvenue à Calgary.
I'm waiting for Stephanie.
Okay.
You know where she?
Are we waiting for Stephanie?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know where she is.
This is actually unscripted. This is not a show up here. This is something.
The text is Kusie. Stephanie Kusie. I'm not Stephanie.
You do the Kusie part, and I'll do the Pierre Paul-Hus part. You want me to do the Kusie
Yes.
part?
Yo, Kusie. Yo.
Okay. Thank you, Greg, for that warm welcome. And thank you to everyone for joining us here today. How are we doing tonight? On behalf of my fellow Calgarians, I'd like to welcome you to a beautiful welcome in Calgary this weekend. Pierre and I had the honor of hosting the 2023 convention in Quebec City, where he provided a great welcome, and I am hoping to do the same for you this year. I'm Stephanie Kusie. Well, I'm actually not. And I can say without a doubt that Calgary is proud to welcome Conservatives from every corner of our country. You can feel the enthusiasm in this room tonight, and that same energy is being felt right across Alberta and across Canada.
Stay close. L'enthousiasme pour le message d'espoir et d'unité de notre parti est palpable. Nous l'avons tous constaté dans des salles combles à travers le pays. I'm Pierre Paul-Hus, the Member of Parliament for the beautiful Quebec riding of Charlebourg, Haute-Saint-Charles. Thank you. And I, like you, I'm looking forward to a great weekend ahead. J'aimerais maintenant demander... Thank you very much. Oh! Hey, Greg, how are you? Oh, no.
Can I get a Yahoo? Yahoo! Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Welcome in Calgary, Stephanie. So, j'aimerais maintenant demander à la présidente du Congrès, Christina Mitas, de prononcer quelques mots pour lancer le week-end. Christina Mitas, the Convention Committee Chair, will now say a few words.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Calgary. What an incredible energy. There is nothing like being in a room full of your fellow Conservatives, excited to undertake a weekend of networking, engagement, policy and constitution discussion, and some great parties. As your convention chair, I can tell you we have worked incredibly hard to bring you the best CPC convention yet. Thank you. In that vein, I would like to thank our entire convention committee for their hard work in making this possible. Please join me in giving each of them a round of applause. I will start with Natalie Claremont from Quebec, Colette Stang from Saskatchewan, Judy Manning from Newfoundland and Labrador, Jill Ford from the Yukon, and last but certainly not least, your local Alberta councillors, Amber Ruddy and Heather Feldbush from Alberta. Woo! This is going to be a convention about solutions, because that is what we as Conservatives do. We fight to make Canada stronger and to make it work for all Canadians. We all know, after 10 years of Liberal government for the insiders, life has become harder for Canadians. That is why we all, as Conservatives, will not stop fighting. We're going to fight for a more affordable Canada. We are going to fight for safer communities. We're going to fight for a Canada that produces more and empowers our country to stand in a position of strength yet again. Thank you. We will never give up on the Canadian dream, and I know that united, we will form government and we will bring back a prosperous Canada for all. Thank you so much for attending and contributing to this very important process for our party. Please do not hesitate to pull myself or any of these lovely ladies aside should you have any questions over the next few days. We look forward to seeing you all, and let's have a great convention and time in Calgary. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Christina. What a room. What a room. We last gathered together for a convention 28 months and 19 days ago in Quebec City. Who's counting? Our party has made remarkable headway. Here's a proof point of just how energized the Conservative movement in Canada is. This is the largest Conservative Party convention in Canadian history. And this is a growing party, winning the trust of more than 8 million Canadians in the last election. Conservatives are engaged, we are excited, and we are ready to work hard to build an even larger coalition of voters who believe in our message of safe communities, affordable homes, and a strong Canada. Under Pierre's leadership, we saw Canadians who had never taken a look at the Conservative Party before line up for hours to hear his message of hope. We won the most votes in our party's history, adding 2.5 million votes and 25 new seats. We did it by listening to Canadians and connecting with them. But we still have more to do. And we as Conservatives know it. We are the party of results, not of rhetoric. And we are ready to deliver. I look forward to working with all of you over this weekend to continue strengthening this movement and demonstrate to the Canadian people that only the Conservative Party is ready to lead a stronger, safer, and more affordable Canada. Please welcome back your Masters of Ceremony for this evening, Stephanie Kusie and Pierre Paul-Hus.
Well, Pierre, I tell you, a lady goes to touch up her makeup and a lot of things happen. Now I can give you all a proper welcome. Where are my delegates from British Columbia? Where are my delegates from the North? Where are my delegates from the prairies, Manitoba? Saskatchewan? Saskatchewan? Where are my delegates from Alberta? Where are my delegates from Ontario? That is a good group, Pierre. Où sont mes délégués de Quebec? I love it. Where are my delegates from the Maritimes, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick? Make some noise. And finally, where are my delegates from Newfoundland and Labrador? Amazing. I'm Stephanie Kusie, the Member of Parliament for Calgary-Minnepoor, and it is my honor to welcome you to my hometown of Calgary.
Merci, Stéphanie. So, merci, Christina and Stephen, for your leadership and commitment to this party. Friends, tonight is about more than speeches. It's about coming together to highlight the message of hope that the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre have been championing. Canadians need that hope, faced with an affordability crisis, rising crime, a broken immigration system, and facing an unpredictable world. They need the hope that we represent a government that's serious about tackling affordability, about cracking down on criminals, fixing our broken immigration system, and protecting this country. Canadians are looking for serious leadership and real tangible solutions, and we provide it. Chers amis, ce soir, il s'agit de bien plus que des discours. Il s'agit de tous nous rassembler pour mettre en valeur le message d'espoir que le Parti conservateur et Pierre Poilievre portent et défendent. Les Canadiens ont besoin de cet espoir alors qu'ils font face à une crise de l'abordabilité, à une hausse de la criminalité, à un système d'immigration défaillant et à un monde incertain. Ils ont besoin de l'espoir que nous incarnons, un gouvernement déterminé à s'attaquer au coût de la vie, à sévir contre les criminels, à réparer notre système d'immigration brisé et à protéger le pays. Les Canadiens recherchent un leadership sérieux et de vraies solutions concrètes, et nous les offrons.
And that message of hope and the strength of our values resonated with Canadians. But we aren't done yet. We still need to connect with Canadians and show them exactly how our responsible, thoughtful message of hope speaks to them. This weekend will show Canadians just how ready we are to get to government, back on track after 10 years of Liberal mismanagement. Over the next series of speakers, you'll hear from Conservatives from across the country who embody these principles in their own ways. They come from different regions, different backgrounds, and different generations, but they are united by the shared belief that Canada works best when government is accountable, communities are strong, and Canadians are free to shape their own futures. It is now my pleasure to invite a group of speakers who will speak to those themes and to the future we are building together. J'ai maintenant le plaisir d'inviter un groupe de conférenciers qui aborderont ce thème et l'avenir que nous construisons ensemble. Please welcome Member of Parliament, Carol Anstey.
The Conservative Party has a message that must be heard in every riding in Canada. Places that were written off by the experts and pundits just a decade ago are now represented by Conservative members of Parliament, fighting for them and fighting to restore Canada's promise. The party's message of hope and optimism under Pierre Poilievre resonated with Canadians who have been taken for granted by the Liberal government for far too long. Just 10 years later, more than half of all my voters in my riding embraced Pierre's message of hope and marked their ballot for me and the Conservative Party. Now, trust me, it involved a whole lot of meeting people where they are. It meant going to every nook and cranny in the riding and showing them, through those belly-to-belly conversations at the doorsteps, the message of our leader and our party that reflected their values and their vision for this country. Even if it meant crawling down into a septic field in Cowhead to explain to them why we are the best party that understands them and sincerely serves them. Because it wasn't by a chance, a fluke, or a one-off. Candidates just like me took our strong national message, we packaged it into local messages, and that connected with people who had not heard from us in decades. And this happened right across the country in the last election. Windsor, Nanaimo, Timmins, and Terra Nova, the nail-biter at just 12 votes. Places that had one or two conservative lawn signs in years past were suddenly painted with blue signs with so many engaged volunteers that were overflowing with enthusiasm. Our team grew from 20 or 30 in 2021 to almost 150 in 2025. We had so much support from associations in other parts of the country. We united across the country, a united effort to make our vision a reality. And those places were taken for granted by the Liberal Party, a party that is so far away from where people are under an out-of-touch Prime Minister. And there are plenty more seats that saw that same surge of interest and excitement. And there's still lots more room to grow, because this story is the same right across the country. Canadians have struggled under the yoke of Liberal policies that favor their insider friends and leave behind everyday Canadians. Groceries have skyrocketed in every single corner of this country. Young people can't afford housing. The Liberals pretend like it's not true. They insist to Canadians that things are going well, and they try to convince Conservatives to turn on each other. But Conservatives know better, and we understand the strength of our message and the important message that Pierre represents. Canadians don't have to live like this. We can live in a country where if you put in the hard work, you can get ahead. And we still have more to do, because we need to win for those Canadians who are so desperate for that optimistic vision of Canada. And that means we need to bring that message to every Canadian in every riding right across this country, that it doesn't need to be this way. And just as we did in Long Range Mountains, we'll find the ears and the hearts of Canadians who are desperate for Pierre's message of optimism and hope. Newfoundlanders and Labradorians remember Premier Brian Peckford's words that now seem so relevant to the rest of the country. Someday the sun will shine again and the have-nots will be no more. And as the very first Conservative woman ever elected in Newfoundland and Labrador, I know that hope can finally become a reality, and together we will build the House of Opportunity. There's no riding we won't be contesting. There is nowhere that we won't go to work to restore Canada's promise under Pierre Poilievre. Now please welcome my friend and colleague, MP Luc Berthold.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Hi everyone. I'm Luc Berthold. Je suis Luc Berthold, député de la magnifique région Chaudière-Appalaches au Québec. I'm from the beautiful Chaudière-Appalaches region in Quebec. Bonsoir, Calgary. Je suis vraiment content d'être avec vous autres ce soir parce qu'on a toute une fin de semaine qui s'en vient. S'il y a une chose que je sais en étant un député de la région de Chaudière-Appalaches au Québec, c'est que nos PME, les petites entreprises, c'est le moteur de l'économie des régions du Québec et du Canada. Chaudière-Appalaches, c'est une région d'entrepreneurs. On a la Beauce, on a la région du centre du Québec. Une région avec des entrepreneurs qui travaillent très fort. Une région avec des entrepreneurs créatifs qui abandonnent jamais. Puis ça, croyez-moi, j'ai l'occasion de le voir chaque jour dans Chaudière-Appalaches. C'est une véritable pépinière d'entrepreneurs et de PME. Pour moi et pour les conservateurs, c'est ça l'esprit du Canada. This is Canada spirit. Chaque jour, nos entrepreneurs s'impliquent partout au pays pour aider nos communautés, créer des jobs payantes. Comme conservateurs, on doit saluer et reconnaître leurs efforts. Every day, entrepreneurs from all around the country are helping to build our communities and create high-paying jobs for hard-working people. And we, as conservatives, celebrate them as champions in their communities. Sans les efforts des entrepreneurs, ce sont toutes les régions du Québec, du Canada, qui en subiraient les conséquences. Saviez-vous que les PME emploient près de la moitié de tous les travailleurs du secteur privé au Canada? Leur contribution à notre économie, c'est énorme. Mais, depuis que les libéraux sont au pouvoir, since the liberals are in power, it's more difficult for them. C'est plus difficile pour nos entrepreneurs. Je peux vous dire une chose. Il n'y a pas une semaine qu'il y a des entrepreneurs de mon comté qui me font des commentaires pour me dire à quel point il y a des barrières bureaucratiques qui les empêchent d'avancer dans leurs projets. Je pense qu'on peut se dire les vraies affaires. Mark Carney. He's on the side of big business. Il est du côté des grandes entreprises, pas du côté de monsieur et madame tout le monde, des petits entrepreneurs qui travaillent fort pour assurer la compétitivité de leur entreprise. Pendant que les grandes entreprises ont droit à des privilèges de la part de la bureaucratie, c'est les petites entreprises dans tous nos comtés qui sont laissées de côté. Mais je peux vous dire juste une chose. Pierre Poilievre, lui, il y en a assez du système implanté par les libéraux qui favorise les lobbyistes et les grandes entreprises. Pendant la dernière campagne, il a fait le tour du pays pour changer les choses. Il a fait le tour du pays pour s'assurer que ce ne soit pas un lobbyiste qui permette à une entreprise de compétitionner, mais ses compétences. During the last campaign, our leader crossed this country to hear the stories of those hard-working entrepreneurs. If there is one thing I know, it's that entrepreneurs know that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives won't stop fighting for them. Je sais que les entrepreneurs sont avec nous autres. On l'a vu pendant la dernière élection. Les entrepreneurs de mon coin savent que Pierre Poilievre va couper les taxes et les impôts, réduire la paperasse, réduire la taille de la fonction publique pour permettre à nos PME d'en faire encore plus. Pierre Poilievre a aussi fait plusieurs propositions concrètes pour aider les entrepreneurs. Permettre aux travailleurs de métiers spécialisés de déduire leurs frais de déplacement de l'impôt. Il a aussi proposé de réduire les taxes sur les gains en capital si nos entreprises réinvestissent ici au Canada. Ça fait longtemps, ça fait trop longtemps que le Canada n'a pas eu un premier ministre qui comprend aussi bien la réalité de nos PME. On le sait à quel point c'est important dans les régions du Québec, dans les régions du Canada. C'est pourquoi on a besoin de Pierre Poilievre comme futur premier ministre du Canada. Now, please welcome my colleague, MP Arpan Khanna.
Thank you, Luc. Who's ready for a great convention? We're in Calgary, it's January, but it's not cold, so I want to do that one more time. Who's ready for a great convention? There we go. What incredible energy. It feels so good to be back in Calgary, surrounded by conservatives from coast to coast to coast. Friends, we are here for one simple reason, because we care. We care about our conservative movement. We care about this country. We care about Canadians. And we believe Canada can do better. That's right. Because right now, Canadians from every walk of life have been hit hard by this Liberal government. A government that works for the insiders, the elites, the rich, while everyone else pays the price. A government that has broken Canada's promise, made life harder and less affordable for people right across our country. Just look at young Canadians. Under the Liberals, young people can't afford homes, and that dream of home ownership is sadly dying. Half of first-time buyers say owning a home in the next 5 years is simply out of reach. Half of millennials and 2/3 of Gen Z are putting off starting families, not by choice, but because they can't afford a place to live. And instead of opening doors for the next generation, Carney and the Liberals keep slamming them shut. At the same time, our young people can't find jobs, thanks to the increase of low-skilled temporary foreign workers in our country. And despite doing everything right, they do everything right, the dreams of Canadian youth remain out of reach. But Pierre and Conservatives are offering a different vision, a message of hope, a message of opportunity, a message that says Canada should work for those who work hard in our country. And that's right. And Pierre's message, to make housing affordable and to put young Canadians back to work, it broke through. We saw it at the doors. We saw it at the massive crowds of young people at rallies right across our country. And we saw it where it matters the most, the ballot box. And it wasn't just young Canadians. Canadians from every background, every faith, every neighborhood, they saw themselves reflected in Pierre's message of hope and optimism. I saw it firsthand. They're fed up with crime taking over their streets, carjackings, extortions, home invasions, broad daylight shootings. They know safe communities mean locking up repeat violent offenders and putting victims first. They're fed up with grocery bills exploding while Liberal taxes and inflation eat away at their paychecks. But they know Pierre has a plan to make life more affordable and ensure Canadians can live once again in safe neighborhoods. And they respect him, and they respect something deeper about him. That Pierre believes in a united Canadian identity. That he believes every single person deserves the chance to reach their God-given potential. And most of all, they trust him. He doesn't say one thing behind one door and a different thing behind another. He tells the truth. He means it, and he stands by it, even when it's hard. And that's why they trusted him with their votes across the country last year. Conservatives saw massive electoral gains right across this country. In Brampton, we surged by more than 16% across the city, knocking off a Liberal minister and coming within a hair of winning 5 more seats. And we saw the same momentum. We saw the same momentum in Surrey. In York Region and Richmond, our vote share went up 13%, winning key ridings. And that didn't happen by accident. It happened because Pierre showed up. He listened and he connected. Friends, we've made historic progress. The strongest results our party has ever seen in these communities. Voters put their trust in Pierre because they know he has their back. But let me be clear, we're not done, not even close. We need to work hard together to share Pierre's vision for Canada, where homes are affordable, streets are safe, and hard work truly pays. A Canada that is united, thriving, and full of opportunity, where every sacrifice means something. Every voice is heard, and the next generation has a fair shot at a brighter future. Because, friends, together, as Conservatives and as Canadians, with Pierre Poilievre as our leader, the best is yet to come. Friends, have an amazing convention, and now I'll ask my good friend, you all know him, please welcome MP Aaron Gunn.
All right, thank you, Arpan, and thank you, Calgary. It is great to be here all the way from the newly Conservative-held riding of North Island Powell River. You know, people often ask me how we won these new ridings, how we made such historic gains in places like Hamilton and Windsor and Nanaimo. And from knocking on thousands of doors, I can tell you with some confidence that it's because today's Conservative Party is the party of Canadian workers, the party of people who build things, who get up early, who work hard, and who get things done, the party of tradespeople, of resource workers, and of those laying the groundwork for the future of Canada's prosperity and success. And for inspiration on building this, the next chapter of Canada's story, we need only look back to our proud and storied past. It was under this party, led by the father of Confederation, the great Sir John A. Macdonald, that the vision of this new nation was truly born. And that vision was from the Atlantic to the Pacific, through the Rockies, across the prairies, and over the Canadian Shield, brought together in 1867 and tied together for over 150 years with a ribbon of steel. A national railway that forms the spine of modern Canada and that runs through the very heart of right here in downtown Calgary to this very day. And a railway that we must always remember that the Liberals would have had us abandon to build feeder lines of dependency to the United States. Let us not forget that today, just as in 1867, it is the Conservative Party that is and always will be the defender of Canadian sovereignty, our national interest, and Canadian identity, and we will take no lectures from Liberals on what it means to be proud to be Canadian. And we will take no lectures, especially from those who only spontaneously rediscovered their patriotism and love for Canada just 15 months ago, right? Who spent the last 10 years deriding this country, tearing down statues, erasing our history, stigmatizing the flying of our national flag. These are the same people, remember, who wanted to cancel Canada Day, who took Terry Fox and Vimy Ridge out of our passport, and now they are claiming to be the true defenders of Canadian sovereignty and identity? I don't think so. Because instead of putting Canada first over the past 10 years, they have been putting their ideology first. And we've seen the consequences. Pipelines killed, mills closed, Canadian resources left in the ground, fishermen chased out of areas that they fished sustainably for more than 100 years. These are Canadian workers who have had their livelihoods, their careers, their ability to put food on the table to feed their families sacrificed by the Liberals and the NDP on the altar of their extreme ideology. You know, just last week, I spoke with some of these workers at the recently closed Atlee chip plant just outside Port McNeill in my riding, the latest Canadians to lose their jobs thanks to Liberal and NDP policies. They were frustrated, they were angry, and I am too. For too long, these workers have been told their views, their jobs, their livelihoods don't matter, that they need to transition, to move on to something else, find a different job, while the government focuses on its quote-unquote real priorities, like renaming cities, streets, and towns, like handing out free drugs and keeping our oil in the ground. But it doesn't have to be this way. With Conservative leadership, Canada can realize its true potential just as John A. envisioned all those years ago. And you know the great thing is? You know what the great thing is for so much of this? Is that we don't need the government to step up in any particular way. We just need the government to get out of the way and give this country back to those who built it, the people. These are the people who get up every day, go to work, and do what needs to be done, who come home with sweat on their brow and dirt on their hands, who choose their careers not because they are easy, but because they are hard. I know Canadians are ready to do their part to build the next chapter of Canada's story, and I can tell you, as a Conservative MP, we are ready to do our part too. Now, some of you may have heard, especially those from British Columbia, that just over a month ago, I considered stepping down as a Member of Parliament and joining the race to become the next leader of the BC Conservative Party and Premier of British Columbia. And to decline that opportunity was one of the most difficult decisions of my life. But after much reflection, I decided that the best place for me today is standing shoulder to shoulder with the next Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Paul-Hus, and to be a loud voice in Ottawa and to help Pierre on his nation-building mission. And that nation-building mission starts with getting government out of the way. It starts with building pipelines, mines, homes, and so much more to unleash the power of Canadian resources, Canadian ingenuity, and most importantly, the Canadian people to realize Canada's true potential, strong, sovereign, secure, and proud, and the wealthiest, most prosperous nation in the entire world. Thank you, Calgary. Thank you for having me. And I'd now like to invite my fantastic and incredible colleague, Melissa Lantsman, out on stage. Thank you, Calgary.
Thank you. What's up, Calgary? Thank you for the warm welcome. I want to make sure to give an especially big props to my friends Carol and Arpan and Luc and Aaron Gunn, who you just heard from. Let's give them a big hand here tonight. I am so excited to be here with all of you right here in Calgary for what promises to be an amazing weekend. We are here tonight at such a pivotal time for our party and for our Conservative movement. Tonight is a chance to celebrate just how far we've come as a team and the coalition that we've built, the largest in more than 3 decades. I think you all know the guy who gets the credit for putting that all together. His name is Pierre. I also think that every person in this room knows exactly what I know, how hard he worked, his strategic vision, the outreach, the communication chops that have outright revolutionized Canadian politics. Under his leadership, we've connected with an unprecedented number of Canadians from coast to coast to coast. People who just a few years ago would have never dreamed of voting Conservative. And it should come as no surprise to us, in the face of this success, that we face a concerted and deliberate campaign from the Liberal government, from special interest groups, and from the chattering classes to divide us. They're trying to divide us because they know that when Conservatives spend time fighting each other, Conservatives don't spend time fighting the harmful Liberal policies, policies that only help their well-connected friends. And it's been 10 years of these harmful Liberal policies. These Liberal policies that have left everyone else out to dry. And let me just say this to everybody watching and everybody trying to divide us. We are united. Our movement is united, and our party is united. We are united on behalf of the hardworking families who just want to afford groceries, who just want to afford a home, who want to afford the necessities of everyday life. Under this Liberal government, even a full-time job doesn't protect you from having to line up in a food bank in this country. We are united on behalf of the law-abiding Canadians from every walk of life who have been abandoned by a government who would rather fight for the rights of repeat criminal offenders instead of the rights of innocent victims. And we are united on behalf of the next generation who have sacrificed their jobs, their hope, and their futures only to be told by the Prime Minister that they need to sacrifice more. But more than anything, we are united for Canada, a country where hard work gets you ahead, where tomorrow is better than today, and where someone with the last name Lantsman can go from the front seat of a taxi to the front row of Parliament Hill in one generation. And we will never be divided by the elites and the pundits and the Liberal hacks who try to sow discord amongst us. We will not be distracted by a government that desperately wants to hide its decade-long record of failure, because we know that our beliefs are strong and our movement is even stronger. We know that we have the right solutions for Canada and from all Canadians. And so I'm confident that Pierre, as our leader, we will come out this weekend even stronger, even more united, showing Canadians that we're ready to govern and we are ready to restore the promise of Canada. It is time for hope. It is time for change. And it starts this weekend by standing with Pierre and uniting for Canada. So I'll remind you to vote yes for an affordable Canada, yes for affordable homes, yes for affordable food on the table, and yes to Pierre as our leader. Pace yourselves and have a great time at this convention. I'm going to invite back to two amazing MCs that you're going to see all weekend, Stephanie and PPH, that's what we call them, from backstage to tell you about what we're going to do tomorrow and give you the lay of the land. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the convention.
Merci à Carole, Luc, Arpan, Aaron et Melissa. Ce soir marque le début de ce qui s'annonce comme une fin de semaine à la fois stimulante et déterminante. Au cours des 2 prochains jours, nous participerons à d'importantes discussions sur les politiques publiques et nous nous rassemblerons comme une équipe conservatrice unie, déterminée à gagner pour les Canadiens. Thank you, Carol, Luc, Arpan, Aaron, and Melissa. Tonight marks the beginning of what will be an exciting and important weekend. Over the next 2 days, we'll take part in important policy discussions and come together as a united conservative team focused on winning for Canadians.
All right, folks, it's time for a little housekeeping before we send you off to enjoy the evening. You'll want to be back in this room at 8:15 a.m. tomorrow morning to hear from the chair of the Conservative Fund, Rob Staley, on the state of the party's finances. Spoiler alert, it's all good news. at 9 a.m., you can attend the Constitution breakout session right here in the Champion Ballroom. The first policy breakout will take place next door in the Percheron Ballroom. After lunch, we have more policy breakout sessions, and one in this room and the other in the Percheron Ballroom. Après le dîner, nous aurons d'autres séances de discussion sur la politique, l'une dans cette salle et l'autre dans le Percheron Ballroom. Doors open back up to this room at 6:15 p.m. We will be hearing from our leader, Pierre Paul-Hus, at 6:30 p.m., so don't be late. If ever you've been to one of his events, you know it's going to get pretty crowded in here. Thank you all and have a great night here in Calgary. Les portes ouvrant pour cette salle à 18h15. Notre chef Pierre Paul-Hus prendra la parole à 18h30. Alors, ne soyez pas en retard. Si vous avez déjà assisté à l'une de ces événements, vous savez que la salle se remplira rapidement. Merci et passez une excellente soirée. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Have a great night.